Kia ora. This is the LEGO Sonic the Hedgehog set 76993 Sonic vs Dr. Eggman's Death Egg Robot, which released back in August this year 2023 for I believe 110 NZD. At one of my local retailers there happened to be a one-day sale that was a buy one get one half price deal, so I managed to grab this and Amy's Island Rescue using Christmas vouchers that I still hadn't cashed out, which made this set actually completely free, and I only had to pay 40 NZD for the Amy Island Rescue set, so together basically $20 each. Great value if you ask me. Sometimes it pays to be patient. Here in this set we have Sonic and Dr. Eggman, who comes with a giant mech suit. We also have some smaller builds here for some play functions. We'll be sure to cover all of that once we get to it. I really love the look of the Sonic line as someone who isn't familiar with these games, because I only need to get 2 excellent looking LEGO sets to have everything that I personally need. I'll have all the minifigures that I wanted, the brand new play feature of that speed sphere, a vehicle, a playset. It's perfect. So I'll start off with the little inclusions here first. We've got some spikes, a ring, a little lab section, and a ramp, but that's being very generous. It's more like a speed bump if anything. I think it's new for this theme. I don't recognize this sort of a build here. The spike trap is built from some jumper tiles and those rubbery parts there as well. The Sonic line features these brand new rings, which stand on clear paths to make it look as though they hover. The small lab here is the most substantial of the smaller builds, and I like it quite a lot. We have these little critters here that are being held captive. That dome is very easily removed for a play feature functionality, but it also means that it's very loose on here, so be careful when you're moving it. We have a control panel here with a Chaos Emerald, as well as some levers and a printed tile of some buttons. There are no stickers used throughout these sets, which is great. I want to take a look at Sonic's new play gimmick now. This is the Speed Sphere, which is a build that's included in 3 sets total, I believe, of this wave. It's the kind of thing that really reminds me of sets from when I was a kid. Technic parts have been used to build a giant spring to shoot Sonic at people. Sonic comes in this casing that resembles the gyrosphere from the Jurassic World line of sets. I really loved toys like this when I was a kid, so I can see this easily being a huge hit within the younger crowd. He rolls very easily as I've shown here, and he launches very easily as well. But now it's time to show off that giant mech build before we get into the play feature involving everything that you've seen so far. The mech stands at just over 6 inches tall, which is nice for a $100 LEGO set, but the girth of this thing is where the substantial build is really showing off. I really love that side profile here, which from doing some partial researching shows that it resembles the designs from the games quite well actually. It can be really tough to pull off a 2D design in a 3D space, so props to the designers on this one. As it is a mech, that means articulation is involved. He's got these massive legs here which include articulation in 2 different areas. Those knees do remain in place where they are though. It holds the weight of the mech really well actually. Arm articulation is also pretty generous in that shoulder and the elbow area, full movements here as well. His arm spikes cannot move around though, those remain static. As for the other arm though, it's the same articulation, but that arm is replaced with a hand cannon that features some stud shooters. I'm not willing to pick all of these up around my house just after recently moving. You get the picture with how these things work. In the cockpit section, you can adjust parts of the face build, but not by too much. The dome here opens up to reveal a sitting Dr. Eggman in a little tiny area. No switches or printed tiles for controls here though. The final section to talk about here is the jetpack, which resembles a smaller version of the Optimus Prime build to me. In this, it introduces our play feature that can sometimes annoy me if you press on it in just the wrong way. Press on his chest and the jetpack can pop off out the back. I've regularly knocked out this section accidentally through moving this figure around my room. There's some room on the inside here for the little critters to be placed. This is them being held captive a second different way, if you could believe it, and now Sonic needs to try and save them, which is where all of these extras come into play. I'll set everything up here and show off how the speed sphere thing works. Using a ramp and spikes to get that lab cell open, it doesn't really work as well as I had hoped for, and probably as well as the designers had hoped for. You really need to use a lot of force to get it to work. Not too much force though, because otherwise you'll miss your target. On my 3rd attempt, I managed to finally get it right. For the mech assault, I felt it was too ridiculous to even bother with the ramp, so we'll just be freeballing it from here on. I missed the first time, naturally, it takes a little bit of time. The second time I used too much force and I missed again. 3rd time is always the charm. But once I think I had it, I decided to play around with it a little bit more. I really love this feature. I love being able to just throw around all these toys and it won't damage anything. That speed sphere is still perfectly intact with no marks, and the mech still stands as well. 2023 has given us some very satisfying play features in LEGO sets. This is our minifigure of Sonic the Hedgehog. Believe it or not, he's actually quite different this time around compared to his previous iterations. I mentioned in my video about the Ideas one how much I love that color scheme for him, and here it's even better. Those flesh tones and whites on red really do stand out for him. Sonic has big green eyes and his mouth is printed on the side of his face. He's the only minifigure character in the wave to have that kind of a feature. The special molding for his head is excellent, and the figure overall is just a very impressive one for me. Here he is compared to his past counterparts. On the left here we have the Dimensions release, and on the right we have the Ideas release. LEGO has really come a long way in perfecting and improving the Sonic figure. They didn't improve the molding because it wasn't necessary, it was already a perfect headpiece. Instead, they improved on his printing, making each figure better than the last. I really love all of the figures here for different reasons. This is Dr. Eggman, who I think along with Tails is the favoured minifigure inclusion of this wave. Dr. Eggman really needed a big improvement from the Ideas figure, and I'm happy to report this one satisfies that need. Eggman's a very interesting figure because I believe he's using a brand new special body mold to help kind of give off the emphasis of his weight. He also uses the tall woody legs, which we recently saw return in the LEGO Avatar line, so you can expect to see these legs appear in other sets in 2024 as well. His body has his head permanently attached onto it though, which is a shame. From the box art images, it looked like this would function a lot like Roadhogs from the Overwatch line. He uses Hagrid's arms as well, another piece that I really love, and I really wish we could have used that for a Mr. Incredible figure. Here he is compared to his LEGO Ideas version. Yes, look, as much as I love brick built figures in this scale, my hot take there, this minifigure though is a much better translation to some extent. I think that the size of the brick built character is really great and it works really well for what that set was trying to do, especially with the body and the arms, but the head just does not work there. Here, the size is significantly downsized compared to the Mr. Ideas one over there, but the likeness does work a lot better. And this is Cubot, a character that I know next to nothing about. He is built out of droid parts and mass-produced pieces. He's technically exclusive because he's not featured in the others, but you could just build this figure right now in your own home. I thought he might be involved with a feature with the mech of some kind, but it looks like his role is to just stand around at that little lab build. But it's nice to have some more Sonic characters though. And then we have these little critters here, and I don't really know what they're supposed to be doing here. It looks like each set gives us a different variation of the Chaos Emeralds as well as multiple little fellas. I don't know Sonic the Hedgehog world building stuff, so I don't know what these guys are supposed to be doing here, but they are really cool inclusions. Some of them are released in other sets, but this turtle fella here I believe is an exclusive to just this one. The box design is one that I really like. I've heard criticisms of the artwork, but I really like it here. It feels very on brand for a Sega product to me. Up top we have our characters, and then on the back we can see a lot of the play features that we just went over. Demonstrations on how you can save the little critters and take down that giant mech. The instructions for the set come in the standard size booklet for a $100 NZD set. We can see images of the set all built up at the back, and we have a promotion for all of the sets of the wave here. It's a really cool wave honestly, but if you just want the main figures like I do, there's no need to buy more than 2 of these sets. So overall, I really like what I see here. I think the minifigure inclusions are giant improvements, and I really like that color scheme involved with the Eggman based builds. His car from the Ideas set is one of my favorite LEGO side builds of all time, so this mech here does live up to that expectation. I think I like this mech's design a lot more than the design that he has for the biggest LEGO set of the wave. There's not a whole lot else to say here otherwise. I just think it's a really solid mech set, and I'm very satisfied with this. If you enjoyed this look at a LEGO Sonic 2023 set, liking and subscribing helps to support this channel in making more videos like this. Ka kite anō.